I'm going to show you a really neat trick. We're going to remove the corn on the cob from the husk. I've had this in my microwave on high for 3 minutes. The only thing I need to do, grab a knife. I'm going to cut off the bottom. Grab ourselves a plate. You're going to grab the outer portion and you're going to just start squeezing. Just squeeze. And like magic, look at this. So there we have it. Absolutely perfect corn on the cob in the microwave with no mess. That's it for today. I'll see you next time. Doing a really fun video. We're going to be using some Crisco shortening, but instead of baking with it, we're going to be making my magic Crisco candle. For our really fun video today, you just need 4 items. We're going to need Crisco shortening, we're going to need some cord, and this has to be 100% cotton. That's very important. You're going to need a glass or a jar. I'm going to be using a mason jar today. And our last item, I'm going to be using something heavy just to hold down our twine in our mason jar, and I'm going to be using a nut. So let's get on with the video. For our first step, I'm going to get my jar. And Crisco, like this, you can use any brand. I'm using Crisco. It is a shortening and it has to be a solid shortening like you see here. And I'm just going to start getting this into my jar. And I want my candle not all the way to the top, I want it about down here. So I think that's enough to start off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to microwave this on the defrost mode until most of it's melted, and then I'll come back and just show you. So this is about 3 minutes later on the defrost mode. You can also use regular mode if you wish to make it go a little bit faster, but I wanted to control the melt a little bit more, so I use the defrost mode. So you can see most of it has melted. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit just to show you this a lot closer up. Now that I've zoomed in, you can see the difference between shortening that has not melted yet. You can see that it's still in a solid form here, and then we've got the liquid at the bottom. So hopefully the camera picks that up. So that's almost done. I can see that I'm going to add a little bit more of this just to get the level up a little bit more. So I'm just going to heat this a little bit more, add a little bit more to it, and then I'm going to come back. So right out of the microwave for the last time, and now you can see that our Crisco shortening is completely melted. And we are ready for our next step. So for that, I'm just going to zoom out. For my last step, we have our butcher's twine. This is 100% cotton. That's very, very important. I'm going to grab the end, and all I want to do is just tie the little nut onto the end. I'm going to grab some scissors. I'm just going to clean this up. So basically what this little nut is doing is it's going to provide us with some weight on our little piece of string or wick in this instance. So I'm just going to drop that down, and you can see it just pulls the wick or our nice cord right to the bottom. And then I can just place that where I want it. I'm going to use a little skewer. I'm going to wrap that around a few times. So this is basically candle making 101, but we're using Crisco shortening. Once I know the length, I'm just going to cut this piece off. And there we have it. And that's basically it. So what you want to do, you can leave it like this, or you can put it into the fridge. If you leave it on your counter, it's going to take many, many hours. If you take it like this and put it either into your fridge, or if you're in a really, really big rush, you can put it into the freezer. So at this point, I'm going to pop this into my freezer until the shortening becomes solid again. And that's the magic of this, that shortening becomes solid when it's cold or liquid when it's hot. So I'm going to pop this into my freezer, let it freeze down, and then I'll come back. So here we are again. This is about an hour and a half later. My Crisco shortening has completely solidified, so we're ready to try out our candle. So I'm just going to remove the little barbecue skewer. And then here's our little wick. And I'm just going to cut off, right about to there. And now we'll light it up and see how it works. And there we have it. So I'm going to turn off all of my studio lights and we'll zoom in and then we're going to see how nice the candle looks. So I've zoomed in and turned off all of the studio lights so that we can get a better look at our really nice candle. And while we look at our really nice candle, one thing that holds true for this type of candle or for any type of candle, if you start noticing any type of smoke coming off the candle, just blow it out and trim your wick. And you'll get a smoke-free flame just like you see here. This candle will last you what seems like forever. It just goes and goes and goes. This was a really fun video for me to make. A totally different way to use Crisco shortening. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. I really do appreciate that. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Today we're going to do something really fun. I'm going to show you how to make my magic Crisco cupcake candle. So let's get started. For our candle today, you're going to need some Crisco shortening, which I have right here, and we're going to melt this down in our microwave. You're going to need some silicone cupcake molds. You're going to need something heavy. I'm using a little metal nut. And our last item, some cord for our wick, and this is 100% cotton. So now that I've shown you the items, let's get started. So I've taken some of my Crisco vegetable shortening and I've put it into a bowl and I'm just going to microwave this until it's melted. So my Crisco shortening is completely melted at this point and I'm just going to pour right into my little silicone mold. These are cupcake molds. And what I've done is I've doubled up on these because they are quite flimsy. I just wanted a little bit extra support. Just like that, that's good. And just so that we can get this to our freezer a little easier, I'm just going to put it onto a little cover, just like that. For our next step, I have our little nut here. I'm going to grab some of this cotton cord and I'm just going to tie it to the end of this. We'll just trim off the end. And then you just want to estimate how long you're going to need. I'm going to cut it off about here. And we're almost finished. Got a little skewer here just for the barbecue. And that's what we'll use to hold our little wick. So you can see that the little weight is going to help us hold that wick right down in the bottom like that. And then I'm just going to take the wick and just tie it up like that. And basically you just want to get that centered right in the middle. Now that the wick has a little bit of shortening on it, it's heavy, so that's good. Center it like you want it. And now I'm going to pop this into my freezer for about a half an hour. I just want to set this right up. This is going to turn right back to what it was, into a solid state. So after a half an hour in my freezer, the Crisco shortening has firmed right up and we're ready to try out our little new candle. So I'm just going to remove that little skewer. And then our little piece of wick here. I'm just going to trim that. Just like that. And there we have it. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So I've just zoomed in, and I've also turned off all of my studio lights so that you can see the candle a little bit better. If you want your flame a little bit higher, don't cut your wick as short as I did. So there we have it, my really cute cupcake candle. And this candle will burn for hours and hours. A really, really fun one to try at home. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. I really do appreciate that. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Ice cream. And here are the ingredients that we need. 500 grams of frozen strawberries, this is about 1 pound. 245 grams of low-fat yogurt, that is equal to 1 cup or 250 milliliters. And our last ingredient, 24 grams of granulated sugar, that is equal to 2 tablespoons. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. To make this really, really simple, I'm using a food processor here. I'm using a metal blade attachment. I'll get that in there. Get all of my strawberries right into our food processor. I'll get in my granulated sugar and our yogurt. And this is super, super simple. And if you found that was too much sugar that I added, you can cut it down to a tablespoon. But I find it's fine like that. There we go. I'm going to get my top on. And then I'm just going to pulse this. Just let this go until it's really well combined. So I'll grab a couple of spoons and I'm just going to show you what this looks like. Check this out, how nice this is. Look at this. Really, really nice. And if you find that it's a little bit too warm, you can just pop this back in your freezer and then just zap it a little bit more in your food processor. But check this out. Look at how nice this is. Really, really nice. Let me try this. Oh, that is so good. So let me drop the camera and we'll zoom in a little bit on it. Okay, I've just zoomed in again to show you how nice this is. I'm going to scoop some of this out. And look at this, how nicely this scoops out. And you can really see that really nice texture. Oh. So nice. Let me zoom in a little bit. So hopefully you can see this much better now that I've zoomed in. Look at that really nice texture on this. It looks just like ice cream. Low-fat yogurt, frozen strawberries, and a little bit of sugar. Super, super refreshing. Oh, that is really good. So there we have it. I hope you try this recipe out. A really, really fun one. 3 simple ingredients. You're gonna have fun with this at home. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you wish. I do really appreciate that. So that's it for today, and I'll see you next time. Yum. That's really good. A C
dough hook. You see the C. The spiral dough hook.
Box KitchenAid's brand new commercial stand mixer. This is NSF certified for commercial use. This model has a 1.3 horsepower, extremely powerful. I'm going to open up the shipping box and then I'll come back. Just before I start pulling this out, I just want to show you that there is no retail box. When you get a commercial mixer, it comes in the shipping box and that's it. So I'm going to pull all of this out and I'll come back in 1 second. So we've got a little brochure here. I'll get that to the side. And I'll start removing all of the pieces. We've got our dough paddle. Very, very heavy. Much more heavy than the retail version. This has got substantial weight to it. We also have a nice, very heavy dough hook as well. And then the actual machine. This commercial KitchenAid mixer is so new that many retailers don't even have it in stock yet. The major thing that you're going to notice right off the bat is that this sports a stainless steel bowl guard, just like the very large commercial mixers that you see in restaurants, in bakeries, etc., etc. We'll just get into this. You can see how it lifts up and down. Very nice. Get into this little bag. There's another attachment. I'll remove the bowl. You can also see that this cord that they're using, heavy duty, much thicker than the retail models. I know the angle of my video is not the greatest, but I will move my camera around a little later just to show you the machine a little bit closer up. You can see a nice bowl. This is an 8-quart bowl. You can also see that the handle is quite substantial as well. Really, really nice handle on here. We'll get this into place. Locks in nicely. Really, really nice whisk that they include. Very heavy as well. So then you've got your standard little lever here to lift and drop the bowl. I'll pop this on for fun. And you just push it up and lock it in. There we have it. So once your bowl's in place, you drop down the guard and then you can start your engine. You can hear how quiet this machine is. Really nice. And that's full speed. So that's number 10. I'll drop it right down to speed. There's off and then speed 1. Really like this. You don't even know that this machine's going. It's very, very quiet. I'm very impressed. So like I said, this is an 8-quart commercial mixer. At the top here, you just unscrew, lift that up, and then you can put all of your typical attachments in the front. There we have that. And you also get an instruction manual that shows you how to use all of the pieces that are included with your KitchenAid stand mixer. One of the things that is not documented in the manual is this included ingredient feeder, and I'll just show you how to attach that to the machine. I'm just going to come around to the other side. So with our stainless steel ingredient feeder, you just simply take that and it just pops on like that. And what's nice about this is that you can move this anywhere you wish. So you could put it here, you could put it here, here, in the front, over on the other side as well. So very, very versatile. I'll just move my camera so that you can see the angle of this and how nicely this has been designed. So hopefully you can see how nicely this is designed. So once you place it, it just fits right over the top of the bowl. And I'll illustrate how nice this is with a knife. You can see, so anything that you place here, it's just going to shoot right into the bowl. So this is a really, really nice bonus. And in case you're wondering, I just have not removed the little piece of blue safety tape that they have wrapped all the way around the KitchenAid mixer. So here again is our bowl protector, stainless steel, and you can see it just lifts right up and right out of the way. Bring it right down, and there we have it. I really like that additional feature on this mixer. So you can see that the bowl protector right now is in the upward position, and you can see that they've put a nice angle on it so that it doesn't accidentally come flipping back on you while you're feeding your bowl with ingredients. Then you just drop it. So it's got a really nice mechanism on it. Up and then into the down position. So this bowl is an 8-quart bowl. You can see the nice handle that's on it. It's really rigid. And this is quite a large bowl, but the video doesn't do this justice. So I'm going to show you the original bowl that I use with one of my other mixers, which is a typical bowl size that you see on retail versions of a KitchenAid mixer. And here it is. So you can see, look at the difference. Huge, huge difference. Look at the size of this bowl. The next thing I'm going to show you are the attachments. With this commercial model, we get the 3 attachments just like you get with retail versions. We get the whisk, stainless steel, a stainless steel dough hook, and also the stainless steel dough beater. So we get the 3 attachments, and then also we get the ingredient feeder. And now, just for fun, I'm going to take these 3 attachments and I'm going to show you the weight difference between these and a retail model. I am behind the camera once again, so my voice is going to sound a little different, but I just want to make sure that I'm showing you correctly. So for fun, we're going to start off with the whisk that I usually use in my video recipes. And we can see here 113 grams. So we'll remove this one. We'll take the one from the commercial model and we'll pop that on there. 264 grams. Pretty impressive. That shows you how heavy this is. Let's do the next one. We'll do the spiral. So we'll put our spiral dough hook on here. So this is the one that I always use in my videos. 141 grams. We'll remove that. And then we'll put on the commercial model. And there we have it. 397 grams. Impressive. And for our last attachment, on the traditional model, 147 grams. And then we'll put on the commercial model. 511. Amazing. And that just shows you the difference between the retail model and the commercial model. And I'll just put these together so that you can see the size difference here. And there we have it. So just to finish off the video, let's remove the tape and reveal that beautiful KitchenAid logo. Whoa. There we have it. I'm going to close down our little bowl protector. Inside I have the dough hook attached, and I'll just give it a little spin, number one, and just listen to the magic of that mixer. Really, really nice. So that's it for my really fast unboxing. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. Hopefully you'll see me making a lot of great recipes with my brand new commercial KitchenAid stand mixer. That's it for today's video, and I'll see you next time. So there aren't too many pieces to this. There are 3 pieces. This is a little piece that actually attaches to your KitchenAid, and I'm going to show you how all of this works later on in the video. So that's piece number 1. And then we have the actual paddle, which does the mixing of the ice cream. So that's piece number 2. We also get instruction manual, and there are also recipes in here. And we'll get into this. And here we have the actual main part of the unit. And this has a liquid in it. It's very, very heavy. And you're going to have to freeze this a good 15 hours before first use. So here's the main piece of the ice cream maker, and this is extremely heavy. You're going to want to freeze this for 15 hours before you use it the first time. There's a little instruction quick start guide in here, and indeed it does say here, store the freezer bowl in freezer for a minimum of 15 hours. And then they give you a few simple steps. So just for fun, I'm going to weigh this out. 5 pounds, 8 ounces, and I'll switch it over to grams. 24.99 grams, so very, very heavy. And with this bowl being so heavy, we know that there's a lot of liquid in here that when frozen is going to really, really do a good job when we're making our ice cream. I've seen other ice cream makers that have walls that are not as thick as this. So it's nice to see that KitchenAid has actually provided a really thick wall, which just means that everything is going to stay colder that much longer. I wanted to show you these a little closer up. This here is the drive assembly, which is going to be attached to our KitchenAid. And this here is the paddle, and the official name for this is called the dasher. And these 2 pieces go together like this. And the little teeth here are actually going to mesh together, and this is what's going to actually turn the mechanism, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So this piece here connects to the bottom of our KitchenAid, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. I have flipped my KitchenAid over because I want to show you how the little drive assembly attaches, but before I zoom in, I just wanted to show you this so that you can see where we're actually working on the machine here. So I've zoomed in quite a bit more so that we can see what's really going on here. Now the first thing that I have to mention is that you have to check your model to see what it looks like. You can see my model here has a little spring mechanism. Your model may not have that. Also, you can see that this is a flat piece here. On some models, there's something called a step. So the piece of metal will come up and there'll be a little bit of a step right in this area. So what I explained here with the little step and the spring has a lot to do with what hole you're going to use on the drive mechanism here. If I take this and I put it this way, you can see it goes on. If I flip it around the other way, the wrong way, you can see that it doesn't go on very well, and you can tell the plastic, you want this plastic to butt right up against the top here. So I'll turn it around this way and it goes right on. The other thing I wanted to mention is that there are little rubber bumpers on each side, and that just helps it stay on, and it also protects your metal on your KitchenAid mixer from getting scratched. So I'm going to flip this over and then I'm going to show you how it all comes together. So now we're going to attach our bowl, and right away you're going to notice that there are two dimples. There's one here, and if we rotate our bowl you'll see that there's another one here, and it's slightly different. So we've got one here and one on the opposite side. So depending on the model that you own, this bowl will only fit one way. On this machine, if I try to get the bowl in where this dimple is going to touch the back here, it will not work. If I flip it around, now it works. So I'll just very carefully get my bowl into place, and then down here it just locks right in with that little spring in the back. Let me just zoom in on that area just to show you. This is an important step, and you really want to make sure that your ice cream bowl is locked in correctly. So you'll notice that the little dimple fits perfectly in there. You can see that it's securely attached underneath the little locking plate. So at this point we know that our bowl is correctly installed, and we have our drive assembly installed as well, and the only thing left to do is to put on the dasher. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to pop it into the bowl, and if this is all aligned properly, when we take our bowl and bring it upward, it should just lock right into place. So you just want to rotate this until you see the little teeth start to align properly, lock it in, and then bring the handle right up, and now it's locked in place. And in case you're wondering, by lifting up the bowl, we're actually locking this into place. So this little paddle or dasher is not able to fall, so it's going to stay locked in at this point right here. One thing that I forgot to mention, which is very important, make sure that you have your KitchenAid mixer unplugged when you're installing the ice cream attachment. I have just plugged my mixer into the power, so let's turn it on, speed number 1, and let's see how it works. So you can already see that this is going to be making some really nice frozen desserts. So I'm just going to back off my camera a little bit so I can give you an overview of the machine working. So I'll turn it on again and let's watch. So one thing I forgot to mention is that this KitchenAid mixer is about 25 years old and it still runs perfectly fine. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my unboxing and quick review of the KitchenAid ice cream attachment. You're going to see me using this attachment in upcoming videos on my YouTube channel, Bake Like a Pro. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. I really do appreciate that. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Remove the corn on the cob from the husk. I've had this in my microwave on high for 3 minutes. The only thing I need to do, grab a knife. I'm going to cut off the bottom. Grab ourselves a plate. You're going to grab the outer portion and you're going to just start squeezing. Just squeeze. And like magic, look at this. So there we have it. Absolutely perfect corn on the cob in the microwave with no mess. That's it for today. I'll see you next time. Banana muffins. In my bowl I have 3 very, very ripe bananas. I'm going to grab my mixer and start breaking these down. You can see how easily this is breaking down with the mixer. These are extremely soft. Okay, that's pretty good. Once they're broken down, I'll get in my first egg. And then my second egg. And at this point you can put your mixer on a little bit faster to really get this well incorporated. Okay, that's perfect. And then I'm going to put in a half a cup of unsalted butter. And this is room temperature butter. So that is 1/2 of a cup. Okay, that's good. So then I'll grab my mixer and I'm just going to mix this up. Okay, that's good. And then we'll get in our 1 cup of granulated sugar. So now we're going to put in 1 cup of granulated sugar. And we'll mix that in. Okay, that's good. Then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then we'll mix this in. And then we will get in our sour cream. And then our sour cream, this is a half a cup or 125 milliliters. That's good. And I'll also add in a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We'll grab our mixer and we'll mix this in. Alright, that is good, and now we are ready for our flour and baking powder. So now we're going to sift in our flour. I have 1.5 cups of flour and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And we'll get that right into our bowl. That's perfect. We'll grab our mixer and we'll slowly mix this together. That is good, just like that. And for our last ingredient, I have a good cup of walnuts here. I'm just going to give them a fast chop and then we're going to dump these in. Okay, now I'm going to get all of my chopped walnuts right in there. And because these are muffins, you want to chop these a little bit more on the fine side. If this was a banana loaf, it wouldn't matter as much because you're going to be slicing into it, but because these are muffins, you want to make sure that the pieces are a little bit smaller. We'll grab our mixer and just mix that in for a few seconds. Perfect. So I have my jumbo muffin tin ready to go, and I have sprayed this with cooking spray. If you don't have cooking spray, you can take some margarine or butter and just grease each one of them, and that's very important. And now we're just going to start filling these up. So I do have my oven set to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bake these for 5 minutes at 425, and then I'm going to reduce my oven to 375. Perfect. I'll put this onto a cookie tray, into the oven, and I'll be back in a while. Alright, this is exactly 25 minutes later. So these were in for a total of 25 minutes at 375 and also 5 minutes at 425. So I put them in 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 minutes. Then I dropped my temperature down to 375 and I let them go an additional 25 minutes. And I have a little bit of burning going on. I should have been watching them a little bit more carefully. So I would say at 20 minutes, they would have been done. So I should have let them go 5 minutes less. And we'll get these out of here. And hopefully, they will just come right out because we sprayed our pans really well. I'll use my little skewer. I'll get those out. They're not too bad. Oh, they do smell really good though. Yeah, 5 minutes less would have been perfect for these. So if you try this recipe out, make sure you do them only for 20 minutes. I'll just back these up a little bit here. So I'm going to let these completely cool down and then I'll break into one and show you how nice they look inside. So these have cooled right down. So let's break into one. I want to show you what they look like inside. And look at that. Still very, very moist, even though I did them a little bit too much. That extra 5 minutes would have been nice if I had taken the time to really check them. But look at this. Beautiful and moist. They smell so good. I'll have to try a piece. Really, really good. And I love the walnuts in there. Super, super moist. Oh, yum. So I hope you try this video out. If you do, make sure you check them at 20 minutes so that you don't overdo them that little bit like I did. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. That is good.